Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. We're back in the house, guys. We're gonna make this one quick, guys. I know it's late or early. I know this. There we go. Give us some love, Johnsons. All right, Johnsons, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? How you doing, America? How you doing, the world? Canada, Australia, and to you folks, my expatriates out there. International flavor of the Johnsons. What's going on? I'm your host, Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Yes, I have entirely too much energy for it to be 1:30 in the morning, but here we are. What is going on, Facebook? What's going on, Periscope? I'm not on Periscope. What is going on, YouTube? My people are here. What's up, Tony D? What's up, Brian? What's up, Eric? What's up, Emerson? What's up, Gira? And Chrissy be talking. Give it up for Chrissy be talking, y'all. Chrissy be talking. Who told you I did that? Well, you know, Chrissy be talking. That's one of them taglines, man. You just, I don't know if you want that one. What's up? What's up, David? What's up, OG? The late night creeper. Mary Warren's in the house. What is going on? Tim Black's Woodpack. Schultz 100 in the house. Hey, there we go, guys. What's up? Good to have you guys. Good to have you. I know it's crazy, right? But I got to do the show no matter how late it is. I got to do the show because I got to put the content out. So a lot of crazy stuff went on today, but hey, that's neither here nor there. But we're here to do this. I got some story ideas. Let me jump on Facebook real quick. Make sure the volume's okay on Facebook. Everybody's okay on Facebook. I would hate for my Facebook people to be left out totally. Even though their platform no treat me good. Their platform don't treat me good, but the people love me over there. So, yes, Joy's over here, Raleigh's over here, Kitty's over here. We got a couple of people. Michael's over here. Nigel's in the house. Dale's in the house. We got some love here. Glow Allen, what up? Michael, what up? So we're going to do what we do. I got 5 stories that I think were important enough, and this is always how it is. Hey, Adair and Ginger Liberty. Oh, wow, it's 12:45. I'm doing better than I thought I was. I drank some coffee. I like rushed some coffee. Said, let me go down here. Let me get on down here and do this show. So, look, guys, we got this going on. Lisa Renee Holt. Mustafa. So, tomorrow's the calling day. That's when people get to call up to the show, because this is on Tuesdays and Fridays. If you're new to the show, people call up like a radio show. I do what's called a monologue. Then we open up phone lines. Now, I do a monologue, then I do some stories. Then we open the phone lines. And it's on Tuesdays and Fridays. Particularly Fridays are very long nights, usually about 3 hours. Tuesdays are like 2 hours, and a regular show is a little over an hour. So that's what we got going on, guys. And if you're new to the show, give me a chance. Watch some of the show, see if you like it. And if you do like it, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, get all the notifications, because you got to do that. Got to know when I'm putting out new stuff. So if this is your first time watching, make your mind up. Independent media is the way to go, Johnson. Because you really don't want to, come on, guys. You really don't want to go with mainstream media. They tell you stuff that they're paid to tell you. That's what they do. Now, what was it? Somebody just said something. Maybe it was on Facebook. Oh, man. Live stream skips. I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening with the live stream skips. I really don't. Nigel, what's happening? What's up, Ginger? Welcome back. Your dreams are your ticket out. Yeah, sometimes you get fun stuff like that on the Tim Black Show. Hey, I've been noticing. I don't even know how to say this. Oh, man, so, Tim Black is a friend of comedy. I love comedy. I consider myself, I'm not an amateur comedian because I've been paid to do comedy. So I'm a professional comedian who hasn't been on the road in 3 years. So I think you lose your comedy card if you haven't done any live performances in 3 years, other than this show. Now, if you count this show, I'm doing all right. I'm a working comedian. But I love politics, I love journalism, I love truth, and I love the people. So, we're going to get into that. And I was thinking how legalizing cannabis is a good thing because one main reason off the top we need to all recognize is the war against drugs is a war against black people. It was a war against black people and hippies. You hippie white folks and black folks. That's why they came up with it. That's why they never patrolled the white college campuses and the good neighborhoods and the private universities. That's why they never busted people in Harvard or Yale or Stanford for smoking a little bit of weed on campus. Because it never was about you. It was never to get you. Most crime is focused on black folks and poor folks. That's it. Now, if you don't know that because you didn't get that in your history books, well, blame your school, but also blame yourself because we got the internet now. You got to fight to be ignorant now. Yeah, you got to fight to be stupid because it's free and you don't have to go to the library. You can Google. You can go, duck, go. Hell, I heard you could even still ask Jeeves. Go to ask.com. You can even say it to Siri. You don't even have to type. You can just go, hey, Siri. Hey, Siri, who waged the war on drugs? Don't let me down, Siri. This is your moment to shine. Hey, Siri, who waged the war on drugs?
Woman on drugs. Check it out.
Really? Joy Behar. Roseanne. Okay. Not good. Courtney who? Anyway, the point is it's everywhere, guys. Go ahead and get it. So one state made a move today, and I want to announce this move. This is good news. Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey announced today New Jersey has legalized weed. Give it up for that. Give it up for the legalization of weed in New Jersey. I got a clip, and I want him to tell you instead of it being me. Check it out.
As of this moment, New Jersey's broken and indefensible marijuana laws, which permanently stained the records of many residents and short-circuited their futures, and which disproportionately hurt communities of color and failed the meaning of justice at every level, social or otherwise, are no more. In their place are laws that will usher in a new industry based on equity and will reinvest dollars into communities, laws which promote both public health by promoting safe cannabis products and public safety by allowing law enforcement, to focus their resources on serious crimes. This process may have had its fits and starts, but it is ending in the right place. And I firmly believe this process has ended in laws that will serve as a national model.
Yeah. Wow, give it up for Governor Murphy. Give it up for Phil Murphy, man. Ironically, during the press conference to announce the legalization of marijuana, looks like Murphy's weed man hit him back. Yeah, man, put that on vibrate, dog. But that's what's up, man. That's what's going on. I obviously feel as a Democrat. I live in Maryland, and my governor, he's not even thinking about doing this. He needs to do it. Check this out. So, and look, the quick and short of it should have been, we realized how much money we're leaving on the table. We can make more money legalizing this thing than we can to continue locking people up and squeezing them for prison labor. We just did the math on it. It was like, okay, there's an upside. Forget the moral implications. We're going to make more money this way. We're going to be able to fund more stuff. So this will be great. You know? So, look, and it's similar to I don't give a damn about people's motives. Yeah, I don't spend my time trying to get into people's psyche. I'm not worried about why Governor Phil Murphy and why New Jersey finally came around to do this. I'm just glad they did it, Johnson. Because in the rule, here's life. Here's life for people. And we're going to get later into this when we talk about Neera Tanden and Joe Manchin. If you spend your time, your life, trying to question the motives of other people, you're in for a very long, painful life. A life full of frustration, anger, and never being sure of anything at all. You won't even be able to tell, when you ask people the time, you won't even be able to trust they're giving you the right time because, man, you can never trust motivations of anyone. You never really know. So to that point, I don't know why Governor Murphy, I don't know why New Jersey came around, but they came around. And for that, we give it up, Johnson. We give it up. So it took 3 years of failed legislative attempts, tax negotiations, protracted legal battles, to sign 3 bills Monday that legalize up to 6 ounces of recreational pot in the Garden State. 6 ounces, goodness gracious. Wow. When we were selling weed in the late 80s, early 90s, 6 ounces was a lot. Jay, what's up, Jay? 6 ounces? That means everybody gets to be their own dispensary. 6 ounces? Not a sixth of an ounce. Up to 6 ounces. That's a lot, guys. Murphy, who promised to legalize weed in his first 100 days as governor 3 years ago. Yo. This guy, so obviously Murphy ran on legalizing marijuana. He said he'd get it done in his first 100 days 3 years ago. Come here, Murphy. Have a seat, bro. Let's talk about timing. Have a conversation about how time works. 3 years is a lot longer than 100 days. Look at that. He realized when residents voted to amend the state constitution and legalize recreational grass in November. Still, even after the vote, the legislators spent months duking it out over tax revenues. It's always about money. It's also about licensing and what penalties would be for people under 21 caught with marijuana. All the while, New Jersey police racked up 2,000 charges for minor pot possession. So, as pissed off as I am about this taking so long, this is important to know because my next question was going to be, okay, so what about people with convictions for marijuana? We're getting to that, Johnson. Those people will either get a fine, a simple fine. Hold up, are they getting fined? That's not good. Hold on. So they got a license. They got a license of dispensaries. That has to happen. Okay, in the meantime, the public shouldn't be facing any repercussions if they're caught with pot they purchased from the neighborhood dope slinger. Where is the thing about the weed? Hold on a second. This is important. My bad, guys. There's a part. Okay, here we go. The New Jersey State Senate and Assembly held a last-minute vote on Monday. There will be placed arrests and fines. They're going to be placed their arrests and fines. I knew there was something here. Hold on, guys. That's my bad. With verbal warnings and referrals to community programs like drug education or treatment. Okay, so give it up for that. So if you got locked up for weed, simple marijuana possession in New Jersey, and you got a fine or you got a charge, they're going to change that to just a verbal warning. And the verbal warning should be like they used to tell us back in grade school. If you're going to bring that to class, you got to bring enough for everyone. Got to bring extras, Johnson. I don't have to know how to roll. Brothers that I roll with know how to roll. Get up from Shirley from Good Times, y'all. And give it up for yourself again if you know that reference. Next comedian. All right, guys, so give it up for New Jersey. That's great. Governor Phil Murphy, New Jersey, to legalize cannabis. That's a fantastic thing. It's going to take some time. Meanwhile, 6 months to enact their rules and regulations by the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. They'll be accepting new licenses for recreational businesses. This is the next thing. Hold on. Pump the brakes. On behalf of the historically disenfranchised, on behalf of the people that were marginalized and pinpointed for destruction, who had their lives thrown against the wall and kicked over this failed drug war, I submit to you that we should have first crack at opening business and dispensaries. We should get those loans, and we should get those businesses up and running. Come on, Murphy. It took you 3 years to get done what you said you were going to get done in 100 days. Do the right thing. Make us a priority in this. You made us a priority to lock us up. Now make us a priority to get our pockets right. All right, that's a good story, Johnson. That's a good story. See what happens? See the difference between me and Don Lemon? I actually feel this. I actually give a damn, Johnson. Why would you want to watch corny news where people are just reading off of the teleprompter what was said about the thing that happened and, oh, I should cry now. Where's my... Why would you want that when you could add this, man? All right, Joe, check it out. Check it out, people. Let's jump to this. Let's get the Trump story out the way, shall we? For some reason, my people hate when I talk about Trump. But we got to talk about Trump. Because a survey was done that showed that Trump is still very, very popular. In fact, if Trump wanted to start his own party, he could. He could start the Trumplicans. Didn't he already start his own party? Is there anyone out there who believes that the Republican Party is still alive? Look, the Republican Party died in 2016 when Donald Trump became president. They now have no identity other than obstruction. Without Donald Trump, they're a ghost. So we got the Republican Party, dead, gone. The Walking Dead. They're dead, they just don't know it, Johnson. And then we got the Democratic Party, life support, led by a fossil by the name of Joe Biden, who we'll talk about later. These are the realities of the parties. And we got the MPP Party. What to call that a party? Look, man, one guy with a 12-pack and a Walkman does not make a party, motherfucker. Sorry, guys, somebody had to say it. And if one more person from MPP contacts me to tell me how horrible, if one more black person contacts me from the Movement for People's Party to want to do a tell-all about how horrible MPP is for black people, I'm going to allow them to come on. I digress. Back to Trump. Trump to claim he is the presumptive 2024 nominee of the Republican Party during an upcoming CPAC speech. Former President Donald Trump. Now, this is Fox News, so you can't say, my Trumplicans, you can't say, where'd you get that story from? You probably got it from CNN. Fake news. Now, this is from Fox. And you got to get some Trump stuff from Fox. Because they be, okay. With a grain of salt, but here we go. Former President Donald Trump will claim he's the leader of the Republican Party and the presumptive 2024 nominee when he makes his first public appearance since leaving office during the Conservative Political Action Conference next week in Orlando, according to a report. Longtime Trump advisor told Axios his CPAC speech will be a show of force and said the message will be, I may not have Twitter or the Oval Office, but I'm still in charge. The source reportedly added that payback is his chief obsession. And this September 29, 2020, I don't know, Trump's advisors will reportedly meet with him at Mar-a-Lago this week to plan his next political moves and to set up the framework for king-making in the 2022 midterm elections. Yeah, so see, here's the thing, guys. Back when those Democrats were saying how these Republicans need to vote to impeach Donald Trump, I knew it was never going to happen, mainly because of this. First of all, impeachment's always cut along party lines. Always. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, there's nobody more popular in the Republican Party. Come on, look, who's the heir? Who's the next guy up? Or woman up? Nobody. Name someone. The Bushes were destroyed by Trump in 2015, 2016. They still haven't recovered. What's George doing? Painting pictures of flowers? Hanging out with Ellen? That doesn't bode well for the evangelicals. Come on, Johnson. It's all on Trump. And Trump, he can always stoke the fires. He can always come out and ruin your campaign and get you kicked out of office. And that's what this is going to be about. His CPAC speech is going to be basically a Biggie remix. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All I heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. That's what it's going to be, Johnson. I went from Ashley to Classy. What else? Who shot you? Separate the weak from the ops. Make hard to creep is Crooklyn streets. Separate the GOP from the Trump. That's all I really got on this, guys. Here's the deal. All seriousness, Donald Trump still owns the Republican Party. Similarly to the Democratic Party, it's a insider's game. And Trump and people are more concerned with their future aspects, their future endeavors, being able to get jobs, keep jobs, lobbying opportunities, campaign donations, re-election strategies. They do not want Donald Trump with a whole lot of time on his hands, camping out in their state, making life difficult for them. So Donald Trump is popping up on the scene. Look, Donald Trump's not gone. He's just not gone. And the way that Biden acts, they want him to stick around. Because the only way you get rid of Donald Trump is you make people forget Donald Trump. You do things for the people that would make people realize that they made the right choice in 2020. And up to now, Biden's been going half-ass on everything. So anyway, that's that story. Trump wants to be a kingmaker, and I think he always is. Isn't that how it works? The last person is the person until somebody dethrones them. And who's dethroning Trump? Nobody. Nobody. All right? Let's do this. What we're going to do next? We're going to do, let's do minimum wage. Because this is important, guys. There's been a lot of talk about the minimum wage. A lot of talk about raising the 15, the fight for 15. In fact, that's been going on for quite some time. And there's been a lot of disinformation about the fight for 15 as well. So much that I'm having a control of gag reflex every time I see one of these conservative asshats on the internet, YouTube, talking about all the reasons why you should support not having a minimum wage increase. The funniest was this Pat Bet David from Value Entertainment giving this long, crappy, I don't know, Koch brothers induced Kirkpatrick, I don't know, who's Candace Owens-esque Turning Point USA drivel, nonsense, whiteboard about how like the minimum wage is somehow going to hurt the economy. Yeah. You know, look, guys, here's the deal. First of all, that sound, you know, that the fact that these people believe that this is going to stop the economy, you're talking about a wage increase. Like, for people who don't understand, the uninitiated, like, our wages have not kept up with inflation. That's the problem. So you can't keep, you know, if you're a corporation and you're saying, oh, I can't pay $15 an hour, wages have not been increasing like they would in a normal society, not run by lobbyist groups and corporations throwing money at politicians who are corrupt. So that's the part that Pat Bet David left out. He left out the fact that in any other country would have a higher minimum wage, and the corporations wouldn't be able to control the messaging. So that people like Pat David, a multimillionaire, could tell broke people, you don't deserve more money. This is going to mean less jobs. The rollout of a minimum wage increase would happen over time. It wouldn't happen tomorrow. You wouldn't wake up and it'd be $15 an hour. It would be incrementally done over time, which means those same companies would, as people get more money in their pocket, what do working people do with the money? They spend the money, Johnson. They go to the store. They buy more crappy fast food and other items and more cell phone cases and clothes and daycare. But all of that goes back into the economy. Anybody impacted by a minimum wage increase is not putting their money in the offshore account. That's for people like Patrick Bet David to do. See, the Patrick Bet Davids of the world throw their money in a bunch of stocks. Working people who actually are affected or impacted positively by a minimum wage increase, they buy a new pair of shoes. Maybe they pay a little bit more on the car. Maybe they put some new tires on the car. But it's not like that changes your life overnight. It's the cumulative effect of making more money in tiny increments. And they want you to be against that. Now, how does this tie into Joe Biden? Well, see, Joe Biden, the whole idea of a $15 increase or $15 minimum wage, Joe Biden was presumably on board with this. He said he supported a $15 minimum wage. Now he's talking about he won't be able to get that done. He's having meetings where he's telling folks that's not what's going to happen. He met with some governors over the weekend and said, I don't know if we're going to be able to get this through. They wanted to lump it into the stimulus package, or the new relief bill, I should say. So it was going to be done as part of the reconciliation. They said, well, this is impacting our federal budget. That's the reason why we can put it in, and now we can get it done via executive order. So anyway, be that as it may, this is the news I want people to know. The Congressional Budget Office, of the CBO, report on the impact of raising the minimum wage to a whopping $15 an hour. Over the course of 5 years, Johnson. 5 years. You got 5 years to get your affairs in order. You can't get your affairs in order in 5 years, Johnson. The significant report has been reduced to snappy headlines highlighting the projected price tag, while critics of the wage hike have glossed over the tremendous impact of lifting nearly 1 million people out of poverty. Notice that the Patrick McDavids and the other people that are proponents, or I should say opponents, of a minimum wage increase, they leave out the people that are no longer going to be on living poverty or check to check or relying on food stamps or many of the other social safety nets that they have to rely on now because they don't make enough money. None of that is mentioned in their whiteboards. With the report taking center stage in the debate over raising wages, the anti-worker politicians weaponizing it to slow momentum for higher pay. They're doing a good job too. I've been seeing more and more people vote with your tweets and vote with their eyeballs on propaganda material meant to disenfranchise them. The lowering or to keep the minimum wage at a floor level, at a basement level, hurts so many people. How could you be for that in an economy that could be more robust with the infusion of more of a minimum wage? So if you say you understand there needs to be a stimulus check, right? How could you support a stimulus check but not support a raising of the minimum wage? I feel like either you fight for the people or you don't. Either you understand that some people's finances are crippled, not only by the coronavirus, this goes beyond that. We have not kept up with inflation. In that just system, we wouldn't need a minimum wage increase because we'd already have one. That's the part that really pisses me off because no one talks about it in these videos. So quickly, let me give you a couple myths. Now, myths about the minimum wage. First, the premise that increasing wages inherently leads to job cuts is an outdated myth. A survey released in 2019 that analyzed 139 state minimum wage increases over the last 4 decades found no impact on disemployment, and similar studies have made it increasingly clear that raising wages does not decrease employment. This is all by the CBO, Congressional Budget Office. Second, price increases and the impact they have on spending are overemphasized. One study showed that wage increases of 10% accounted for less than a 0.36% increase. Not even 1 point increase. A 0.36 increase in price. They always say, oh, if you raise the price of this, we just raise the price of our food. We're going to raise the price of our products because we got to pay more. One study showed that the wage increase of 10% accounted for less than a 0.36 increase in prices, while on the high end. Another study on the impact of the raising the minimum wage at McDonald's, which is what they love to use, showed a 1.2 increase. Ask yourself, would you even notice a 50-cent increase to your meal price? Would it really impact your spending? If you're going to spend $4 on a Happy Meal, maybe a Happy Meal is like $3, I don't know. If you're going to spend $3 at McDonald's and you got $3 to spend at McDonald's, could you spend $3.50? If it meant that the people in McDonald's now can make above poverty wages? That's what's called living in society, Johnson. That's what that's called. Okay? That's all that is. That's called living in a collective, where we get to decide, not the corporations, but the people that work at the corporations, for without those people, there would be no corporations. Most corporations need people, and if you don't need people, then this doesn't pertain to you because you don't have employees. Finally, if we're going to boost the economy, consumers need money to spend. Increasing the minimum wage would do just that, all while decreasing reliance on government programs like food stamps, increasing tax revenue for local governments, saving businesses money by increasing productivity and decreasing turnover. So I'm not saying there wouldn't be some adjustment in the market for a minimum wage increase, but what I'm saying is it needs to be done because of the standard of living, the quality of life is so low in the United States. This needs to be fundamentally changed through policy, not through a new series on Netflix, not going for longer walks or listening to better music. People's ability to feed themselves, clothe themselves, take care of their children, pay their bills, that should be paramount. In a capitalistic society, if you got no capital, you got no society. So, there it is, Johnson. Send your hate mail to yourmamashouse.com. Next. Neurotandem. Look, guys, this looks like neurotandem will not be confirmed. That's what it looks like. And ironically, there are those who are defending neurotandem. Yes, they are defending neurotandem. Listen, guys, I did a segment Friday on this issue with neurotandem. Just Friday, we talked about neurotandem, her issues, the issues that you could have with neurotandem. You can look at policy. You don't even have to look at her bad tweets. Though bad tweets are enough for many other people in our society to get canceled. Yeah, like they had no problem canceling what's-her-face person who said what's-a-call-it thing on Twitter, losing their job. Neurotandem's not even losing a job. She's trying to get a new job. And you know what happens? You know what happens if you go look for a job and they find out you got a bunch of negative crap in your social media? You don't get the job, Johnson. That's right. Welcome to the age of social media. Welcome to the age of Google. Okay? So what happens to regular people every day? Every day there's somebody, a graphic designer, a little league coach, or a crossing guard who's not, well, in the time before COVID-19, okay? Those are all jobs, you gotta go places and be around people. But once upon a time, people would go, not too long ago, a year ago, people had jobs where they interacted with the public. In those jobs that they interacted with the public, there was a screening process. Part of that screening process was looking at your social media profiles. Who amongst us is so daft that they don't understand that's a regular thing? That's not a Democratic thing. That's not a Republican thing. And some of those decisions to hire you or extend an opportunity to you would hinge or could be hampered by your social media history. Because it says something about who you were. If you were calling gay people derogatory terms, or if you were using the N-word, or if you were, I don't know, talking about you want to overthrow the government and neo-Nazi stuff or whatever, okay? I don't know. If you did unsavory things, or you said unsavory things online, it could come back to haunt you. We all know that. There are services to wipe all of that. Back to their tandem. How is it progressive organizations like the Justice Democrats are defending their attendant for facing the same ridicule others receive on a daily basis that we've received? And then to mock it as if it's nothing. Then to sugarcoat her garbage behavior. Now let's move, and look, and I don't want to even keep it solely on the social media Twitter postings, but everyone else is leaning into all the policy stuff, and that's not working either. Yeah, that's not working either. When we look at the policies like, oh, she was down for not only bombing the hell out of Libya, but stealing all its oil As if that's a cool thing to do. We got a failed state with its open slave trafficking because America tampered with Libya and overthrew Gaddafi, and you make jokes about it, you and Hillary, okay? But no, say you overlook that. Say you don't care about people being sold as slaves in Libya and what kind of jokes she made about that. What about the fact that she is against entitlements? And I hate that word. That's some DC speak I picked up. She's against Social Security and Medicare and talked about cutting those. She gave the same spiel that Biden gave. Well, we're going to look at everything, put everything on the table. And since I don't use it and I don't have a need for it, because I'm rich, bitch, I'll just say we should cut that stuff. Yeah, because it pertains to the poor people. Yeah, cut it if we need to. We'll put it on. That was their intended. And if that's not enough for you, if that doesn't rock your boat, Neil Tanden it was a woman in her organization, in her own dealings within her own PAC, the Center for Collecting Money from Corporations. There was a woman that was complaining of sexual harassment by a male counterpart within the organization. And what did Neera Tanden do? Did she befriend the woman? Did she service the woman as far as protecting the woman's rights? Did she stand up for the woman? Did she defend the woman against the man who these allegations were against? No, she outed the woman. She outed the woman in a closed session. And then she went after those who called her out for outing her. That's what your feminist leader did. For all those women going, well, she'd be the first Asian woman to lead this, to direct this organization. Yeah, well, that's debatable if she's good enough to do that, okay? So like all those things, you stack them all up, well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you might not want Neera Tanden. And then you lop on top of it, she's a horrible individual who said a lot of horrible things to a lot of people. And frankly, I don't like the fact she blocked me back in 2016 for commenting on a myriad of those things as I just listened to you. Because that's what she does. Now, having said all that stuff, I got that all out the way. Joe Manchin is standing between her and her getting confirmed. And as I stated earlier, guys, this ain't about intentions. We all know that Joe Manchin's intentions are to grab power for himself. This is the same guy, Joe Manchin, that voted for William Barr and other horrible picks for Donald Trump. He basically massaged Donald Trump's feet at every turn. And yes, that was Joe Manchin. That is Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, appeasing a lot of West Virginians who like Trump, and also being a cruddy politician. That's what he does. And yes, I agree. It's the height of hypocrisy for this guy to pretend like he gives a damn about Neera Tanden's tweets when Trump had the most demoralizing, aggressive, bullying tweets on the internet. He held the title. Tekashi 6ix9ine was like, damn, I wish I could be like Trump at this. I mean, to act like a bully online, to call people out and to call them names, it almost became like the name Trump is almost synonymous with that. It's like, damn, you pulling the Trump, dog. You getting real Trump with it. So for that guy who voted to appoint Donald Trump's appointees, or to approve Donald Trump's appointees, it is rich for that guy to now look at Neera Tanden and say, no, Neera Tanden's not good enough. No, Neera Tanden, I can't, with good conscience, vote for Neera Tanden. I can't bring myself to do it. And that is the height of hypocrisy. It's disgusting. It's obviously transparently self-serving. He's a scumbag for it. And at the end of the day, I don't care. No, I don't care. I don't care why he's doing it. I just know Neera Tanden's not a good choice. I don't want her controlling anything in my government. And since we the people don't get to vote, unfortunately, sometimes it'll be somebody like Joe Manchin that gets done what the hell you need done. And look, I realize there's a political movement to this. I realize that Neil Tanner is a very powerful person. I remember back in 2016, there were people like Benjamin Dixon and others were saying, oh man, don't do this, don't tweet that, don't say these things. We can't have these arguments. Neil Tanner can hear us. Neil Tanner can see our tweets. This, no bullshit. Ben actually said that to me in an argument we had. Because Neil Tanner is a bully, and she would make sure that your organization would not get funding, and she would try to hurt. And at the time, they were trying to build something. So this is the thing, guys. There are a lot of people that are afraid of Neil Tanner. She's a very powerful woman, similar to Hillary Clinton. But see, I don't need Neil Tanner. I'm already on the outside. You know, any of those opportunities, they'll never hit my doorstep. They never have. They always ricochet and go to other people. So, I got nothing to lose. And I'm telling you, Neil Tanner is not the person we want because it's Neil Tanner. Not because she's a woman, not because she's Asian. It's because who she is as an individual. She chose to be this person. Similarly, I chose to be the person I am. A person that would throw caution to the wind and call out Neil Tanner loudly and boldly without a second person sitting here to say the opposite to make it seem like we could be balanced. You know, to actually stick my neck out and say how I feel instead of saying, well, what do you think? I think this, and some people think that, and other people think these things, and could you tell us what you think, Nina? And then no one calls out or realizes the fact that the person that you're looking for your news and independent media doesn't even have the balls to have a position on anything until they're sure the position won't hurt them. And I happen to be the person that's the opposite. Well, I pick a position before I decide or give a damn about what people think about it. And that's the same way Neil Tanner has been. But so she has to, just as I've had to, sleep in the bed you made. Yeah, that's your bed. Sleep in it. Neil Tanner has been toxic to so many people. Her politics has sucked, and she has proven time and time again she is not the person that we want managing our money. This person closed the doors of an organization because they were trying to unionize, fired everybody, then reopened them just to get rid of a union. Or something like that. It's horrible. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Heard this for the first time today, like, my God. And was this really a conversation we're having? Is if Neil Tanner is progressive or not? Hell no, she's not progressive. Because she's brown, she's progressive? Or because she's a person of color, she's progressive? Come on, Johnson. That's as disgusting and racist as anything else I've heard. What you gonna say next? She must know how to play basketball because she's got some melanin in her skin or whatever. Or she must know the Biggie lyrics? What are you saying? Just because she's a certain pigment? Did that mean she's progressive? No. Being progressive is something you earn through action. It's something you demonstrate through track record. So anyway, at the end of the day, look, guys, here it is. I understand why people are hesitant to throw Neil Tanner under the bus. And I don't like it. And I don't like the fact that Bernie Sanders is out front throwing Neil Tanner under the bus. And I don't like the fact that Joe Manchin is the one doing it. And then someone else I don't like, Susan Collins, is also, along with Joe Manchin, not going to vote for her. Neil Tanner. And I don't like that these two people that I find particularly despicable are getting done what I need to get done. But as a pretty much, come on guys, as a powerless voter in a country full of a sea of corruption, I gotta take the wins where I can get them. And reluctantly, I'll take this win. And Justice Democrats and other people, take a long, hard look in the mirror, man. Ladies and men and ladies, Johnsons, and make a decision whose team you're on. Because if you're having a reluctance or you have a hard time choosing between us, your values in near tandem because it's convenient, then you're playing on the wrong team. You're not on the right team. You're on their team. And when the time comes for you to do fundraising, similar to me and similar to near tandem, lay in the bed. You made it. Now sleep in it. All right. Give it up for that. I had to find an exit, man. The road was like run out of gas. I need the exit. Where's the exit? I can get off this thing. Couldn't get off the... Next. Malcolm X. Malcolm X family reveals letter. This, they say, shows NYPD, FBI assassination involvement. Let's try that again. Malcolm X's family reveals a letter that they say shows that the NYPD and the FBI contributed or assisted to the assassination of Malcolm X. Here goes the clip.
As of this moment,
The soles of your feet.
56 years after Malcolm X was assassinated here in Harlem, new details have emerged. According to this deathbed note penned by a former undercover NYPD officer sent to infiltrate and undermine the man and the movement, the letter says both the FBI and the NYPD were involved.
Under the direction of my handlers, I was told to encourage leaders and members of the civil rights groups to commit felonious acts.
Ray Woods is his name. Lawyers say after carrying the burden of his decisions for decades, the details were placed in the hands of a cousin, Reggie, to be released after his death.
He was a good man that was tricked and forced to betray his own people. And he felt guilt and remorse for that for 56 years.
There have been questions about what happened at the Audubon Ballroom from the beginning. Many have been explored.
All right, guys. So the murder of Malcolm X, the assassination of Malcolm X, is a long-time sticking point for African Americans and other people that believe in justice in this country. In fact, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X when I was a kid, when I was coming up, and he became one of my icons, one of my heroes. Malcolm X, his assassination, it's just ironic that the timing of this all. Recently, the Fred Hampton movie, but the true title, Judas and the Black Messiah, they both highlight the same thing, that our federal government had these tentacles in the assassination of black leaders. Now, what's so important about this is that for such a long time, people were, led to believe that the Nation of Islam acted alone. Now, we know, I think it was 3 or 4 members of the Nation of Islam were convicted of killing or assassinating Malcolm X. But now we know, according to this letter anyway, written by Raymond Wood, a former FBI officer, right? So let me read this. The 2011 letter. So he wrote the letter in 2011, but he said, or his wishes was in his will for the letter not to be made public until his death. Okay, so that's why I say 2011. The 2011 letter by the now dead officer Raymond A. Wood stated that Wood had been compelled by his supervisors at the NYPD, not the FBI, but the NYPD, to coax 2 members of the Malcolm X security team into committing crimes, leading to their arrest just a few days before the assassination. They were then unable to secure the entry to New York's Audubon Ballroom, where Malcolm X had been speaking when he was killed. So Raymond Wood got a couple of members of Malcolm X security team caught up on charges in order to weaken his security detail, which gave ample opportunity for the murder to take place. Wood maintained that the arrest was part of a conspiracy by the NYPD and the FBI to murder Malcolm X, who had become disenchanted with the Nation of Islam and left this black and left the Nation of Islam. They say other things here. This is the Washington Post. Here goes a portion of the letter. It says, written by Raymond Wood. It says, I was a black New York City undercover police officer between May of 1964 through May of 71. I participated in actions that in hindsight were deplorable and detrimental to my own people. Under the direction of my handlers, I was to encourage leaders and members of the civil rights group to commit felonious acts. Wood said he was hired by the NYPD to infiltrate the civil rights groups to find evidence of criminal activity so the FBI could discredit and arrest its leaders. You may recall in the Judas and the Black Messiah movie, the story of how Fred Hampton was betrayed and later assassinated. That Fred Hampton was arrested for allegedly stealing ice cream. No evidence, no witnesses. Raymond said he threatened to resign, but that his supervisor said if he did, they would charge him with false crimes. His supervisors, Wood said, concocted an alleged plot to bomb the Statue of Liberty that implicated the members of Malcolm X's security detail and led to their arrest. So in his letter, Wood says he was obviously coerced into doing this. They want to charge him with crimes if he quit his job and decided not to partake in this scheme. On the day of the assassination, Wood said his supervisors ordered him to be at the Audubon ballroom where he was identified by witnesses while leaving the scene. Khalil Islam, also known as Thomas Johnson, was later arrested and wrongfully convicted to protect my cover and the secrets of the FBI and the NYPD. So the letter that was read, you saw in the brief clip, was presented at a news conference Saturday in New York by Malcolm X's three daughters and civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. A cousin of Wood, Reggie Wood, joined them in revealing the letter's contents at the Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz Memorial and Educational Center on the site where the Audubon Ballroom once stood. So this is all very symbiotic of the actual assassination. And, okay. I want to encourage everybody to get to know the real Malcolm X and to understand his political through line, which was always about pushing for this society to treat black people with dignity and black people standing up for themselves to demand that treatment. But I want to end on this, and I think this is the most important part of this. Regardless of what you believe about the NYPD or the FBI, I find it funny that we just went through this long string of Democrats kissing the FBI's ass as if the FBI was our friend. There were a lot of progressives kissing the FBI's ass as this whole Russia thing took place. Oh, FBI, FBI, FBI. Oh, the FBI, call me. And that's true. It probably wasn't mostly progressives. It was mostly liberals. Okay, but look, guys, from the outside looking in, who really knows the difference to this lay person? Okay, so to them it looks like Democrats. So I'm gonna leave that at the feet of liberal Democrats. Here's my point about that. This is why there's really no home. There is no home for black folks. As progressives, or as Democrats, or as Republicans. Look at this. We just spent 4 years of people kissing the FBI's ass as if they didn't even know about the FBI involvement in the murder of Fred Hampton, or the assassination of Fred Hampton, or the assassination of Malcolm X. As if that was all zapped out of their minds. That's because to them, they don't care that black leaders were executed in the 60s by this organization. And shudder to think anybody would bring it up, because now you're being divisive, because you're talking about things that impact black people. it would also take the less than pristine reputation of an organization that would assassinate civil rights leaders, activists, who just want equality, who just want to take care of communities, who just want the same rights that their Constitution says they are entitled. And that's all they ever fought for. That's all they ever talked about. That's what their goal was. And 50, 60, was it 55, 60 years later? We still had the same goals. Same goals. 56 years later, same goals. So that's why I say we really have no home, because a party that would overlook, so we got the Republicans doing the same thing. They're all overlooking the fact that the FBI can't be trusted. And here they are, digital rights once again. Here we are with more information that further shows why we shouldn't trust the FBI. And you want us to trust them more now? Now you want us to trust them more? Give them more of give them less scrutiny? Because they are the FBI, and they mean what's best for us. Who us? When we say us, who we talk about? Maybe if you're asleep, which a lot of people were. Don't get it twisted. A lot of black folks were asleep. Yeah, MLK's approval rating was as bad as Malcolm X's shortly before his death. They were seen as rabble rousers, messing up our good jobs, causing trouble. So this is in no way just a come down on any just one group of people, white people or black people, because this is, I mean, they didn't love Malcolm X. And these people now that are coming out, which is the most repugnant thing, is they're pretending like they're champions of Malcolm X. I saw a couple of them talking very tough all of a sudden about, yeah, Malcolm X, Malcolm X. And last year, you wouldn't hear him say the word Malcolm X. But now, they want to jump in front of cameras and pretend that they are fighters for the people. But those same people don't have the guts, the cojones, the ovaries, or the nuts to call out Nerotannin or any other buffoonery. Any other shicey Democratic operatives who might not be good for their careers. Malcolm X deserved more. And look, it's okay if you don't agree with Malcolm X's politics. If you think that we need to just go and be incremental and maybe we're on the back of the bus now, but we could get to the middle of the bus probably by 2052. We just need to shut up. And maybe that's your politics. Maybe that's the way you think it'll work for you. Fine. Have at it. Be your person. Be yourself. Do your thing. But don't pretend and faux embrace revolutionaries in order to give yourselves some false credibility your ass ain't earned. That's all I'm talking about. Don't pretend to be down for a struggle when you ain't down to struggle. Don't pretend to be down with revolutionaries if your ass is anything but revolutionary. And don't pretend to be a fighter for the people when all you're trying to do is extract as much wealth, as much money for yourself so you can live better instead of do better for the people that elected you or the people you want to select you so you can get in these positions. That's where we're at. That's what's going on. And that's what the hypocrisy is about. So this ain't just about Malcolm X. This is about people using his name in vain, people throwing around the name Fred Hampton, people using Fred Hampton's death for their own devices to increase their own viewership, or people using the name of Malcolm X now to blacken themselves up, or people talking about freedom, freedom, freedom. Using the name of Malcolm X and the center as Dr. Cornel West, the Santa classification of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is also just as horrific, just as blatant and dishonest. So with that, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Look, find out more about Malcolm X. If any of y'all people are watching this show, find out more about true black leadership. Understand that what you see now, the Claibornes, the Kamala Harrises, that ain't black leadership, Johnson. That ain't what it was about. Those people are not leaders. Those people that laughed out on the rail back in the day. They're allowed to flourish now because some black people ended up getting some money, and those black people became gatekeepers. And those gatekeepers are now hired by media entities. And instead of sticking their necks out, they put gold chains around their necks. Instead of riding for the people, they jump into Mercedes-Benzes and BMWs and chauffeured limousines and go to swanky places where they ain't got to be around us no more. And that's the problem. But don't you be like them. Go find out what real revolution's about. And then holler at your Uncle Tim. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thank you for being here. I know it's late or early, but hey, the work has to be done. Somebody got to make the donuts tomorrow. The phone lines will open. I'll try to be here at least by 11 tomorrow. We do a lot of research during the day to try to come up with these story ideas. I try to get a little familiar because I don't use a teleprompter. This is all uno nuno. So, look, join the Tim Black Wolfpack if you found this show interesting tonight. You might not like what you heard, but hey, you heard it, even if you don't like it. And I didn't send it to get approved by any entity, and nobody pays to support. No organization controls this show. It's not funded by the DNC, the RNC, the GOP, and none of that garbage. And so it's independent in the truest sense of the word. Join us. That's all I got. Let me check comment section. See anybody's in the house. You need to be sleeping. What you doing up, Johnsons? What you doing up, Johnsons? We got a couple people contributed. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Tony DeMio in the house. Nero gets defended by Jenk and Alexander Rojas. I didn't want to say names. You say names, now I'm being divisive. Now I'm eating my own. If you defended Nero Tanner, you're not my own, Johnson. I disagree with you. I ain't got to eat you to disagree with you. This whole you're eating your own nonsense. No, I disagree. I disagree with him. I don't eat people. I mean, it may look like but I don't eat people. Assure. Okay, I'm sorry. Assure. Thank you, Assure. Information Man Show, TBTV, great program. My brother, peace to the chat, too. That's it. That's what's up. Thank you, my friend. Roger Meadow saw OG vote blue, no matter who, at barbershop. Today, asked if he talked to his peeps in Georgia, being angry regarding the $2,000 check that they didn't get. Says he didn't. I think he was lying. He gave no fire. He gave me no fire today. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't. Yeah, those people in Georgia know what those ads said. How did you start off your presidency lying? It's horrible, Johnson. Roger also says set minimum wage permanent above fair market rent. Start at $40 an hour, and governments provide permanent tax subsidies to cover 85 to 100% of small business labor costs. That's what I read. Now I didn't even know. Like I was going to mention that, Roger, because I read it in an article that you can get a subsidized. The federal government can subsidize for small businesses the difference for some small businesses, and that's a great way to go, right? And once again, more money in the hands of working people will just increase everyone's revenue. And look, and also, hey Raj, I gotta say this, man. If you can't afford to pay people a living wage, maybe you can't afford employees right now. So that's another issue that we need to address. And look, I'm right there, man. I got a couple of part-time people that help me out. It's just so many hours I can have them work because it's just so much I can pay. I have to pay them $15 an hour because I'm not a hypocrite. But there's only so many hours per week I can allow them to work because I can't afford to pay them. But you're trying to say that small as independent media show like this, who hasn't been mandated by the government to pay $15 an hour, I'm somehow finding a way to do it, but you can't find a way to do it? Come on, Johnson. So we need to do something else. There are other recourses, there are other solutions to this besides, well, I guess people shouldn't be able to make money. I guess they're gonna have to go without. Nah, that's not the solution. And it definitely isn't to vote against your own best interest and support stances that are against your own best interest or the people that you grew up with, people that you know. I don't agree with that. So I practice what I preach, and I believe it. I'm just saying it. I actually believe it. I talk the talk and walk the walk. Everybody should. Funny how a church is fighting to find votes for Nira. Chuck is fighting to find Chuck is fighting. Nira ain't invisible. She can be touched. Ask Cuomo. Ooh. I don't know what that is, but okay. We carry signs now. Thank you, we carry signs. Music is life. Speak on it, Tim Black. I'm trying, Johnson. Roger says, non-affiliated voters have leverage in both parties. That's what's up. We gotta use that leverage. We gotta use that leverage. We gotta organize it. That's what we gotta do, man. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I'll see you later on today. I got some great guests coming up soon. I'm not even gonna go through the names. But K Lovejoy, shout out to K Lovejoy, Team Black PR on Twitter for setting up some great interviews. We'll have those coming up. I got love for you. I'll see you soon. Be safe. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. We're all Johnsons. Wolfpack. Let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Cool Streams TV, the best streaming service in the world. With over 2,000 channels. Watch it anywhere on your Android or iPhone. Watch it on your tablet or any Fire device. Premium channels, network channels, pay-per-view sports. Direct access to 24/7 customer service. Go to CoolStreamsTV.com and purchase your subscription. Cool Streams TV. We are the best in the business.
Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to TimBlackTV.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.